Greetings. Today I would like to continue discussing the Italian opening. In the last video, we discussed the German Gambit, which comes from the Italian Open. So we play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5. This is the Italian opening. And now white played a calm move, castle. Black plays knight f6, very aggressive move, expecting the advantage. However, white sacrifice a pawn, d4, and this is a German Gambit. And now black needs to decide which way to capture the pawn. Ed we discussed in the last video is not so good. Knight take d4 is even worse, and bishop d4 is the best. So now after exchange and bishop plays g5. This is actually trap variation. We discussed that you can play black plays h4, then bishop h5 or h4, and then black play further moves like can be queen e7 or d6. However, I don't want to discuss this now, so I want to discuss possibility for black if they don't play h6. So for instance, they can play knight d6, knight e6, and in this case white takes the pawn, and there are two possibilities. Probably the best for black is de. So in this case white queen needs to move to f3, queen e7, knight c3, h6, bishop e3, g6, and the queen wants to take the pawn. However, black doesn't care about it. Rook d1, and now black protects the pawn e5 and suggesting white to take the pawn g7. Actually, this would be probably a trap, and white play a4, castle, a5, bishop moves. So now, or maybe now f3, f5, queen e1, take, knight take, knight f6, knight c3, and after e4, take again, take, queen f6. So queen b4, queen e4, and there are different variations. You can play differently, but the position already equal. So maybe you can play queen e1, or maybe queen e1, and if queen takes the pawn, so it will be sacrifice, white sacrifice the bishop for just one move, and after taking take the position ends up in a draw. So, and otherwise rook d6, bishop d2, and the position still look like a draw now. So no advantage of any side. We return to the position after knight moves to e6. So we considered after bishop take de, but now I would like to continue and consider positions related to fe. So now white can play f4, queen e7, so rook f2 to take, move, queen move to c5. So now bishop pawn cannot take the knight, so bishop needs to take the knight, and in this case it will be Rather simple position now. Castle. So white tries to attack, and actually right now what we have is black has 2 extra pawns, but the position estimated by the engine is equal, almost equal. Even white has advantage, just because the black didn't develop the rook and bishop so far. So white takes the first pawn, then check. Black tries to protect, so it will be basically already infinite check. So white can at least make an infinite check, so the position is equal. If white plays h4 now, queen continue trying to exchange, and again return to the same idea. So with infinite check, infinite check. I also want to discuss again what happens if you don't play h6, but instead you want to play. You don't want to play h6, but you want to play, for instance, d6, and the variations are the same. Like with h6, you play similar variations here. So, for instance, d6, a very strong move in this position, and after f4, bishop g4. It turns out that white queen has no place to go because it will be attacked. So take, king cannot take the bishop, but take. Now take the pawn. Bishop moves. Take, and then position actually is advantage for black, because black has too many pawns. Black will have too many pawns after this move, and these pawns will probably put pressure on the white position. So then queen cannot actually move to e1 because it will be knight. It will be a fork, and now white needs to think about the fact that they lose too much. They lose a rook. So after even white decide to attack. White just doesn't have enough material to complete the attack. So position is good for black. So if white decide to play queen c1, it will be bishop e2, and this bishop needs to take the pawn. So move f2, bishop e6, knight c3, c6, take, and white has no compensation for. White has no compensation for the bishop. Yeah, rook protects. Take, move. And knight needs to move here. I don't know why, but black protects, and so black has too strong position, and white has no compensation for the bishop. So the only way in this case is to take the knight, so, and after exchange. So now if white or black decide to take the pawn, then already white has advantage, because white has an extra piece, an extra bishop. Yeah, white has an extra bishop, and in case black captures the bishop, so okay, black capture all the pawns in all the central pawns, and now we observe the advantage of white instead of black. 2, 4, 6 pawns instead of 5, and in fact right now what happens now, the bishop or the black bishop is in trouble, because there is no position to escape for black bishop. Check, move, and white takes the pawns. So white will take the pawns, and so already 4 against 2, and it's definitely advantage for white. This is why the rook better takes the bishop, take, and after that knight will take the rook, or maybe this way, takes the rook, and then in this position we have a draw. Rook attacks the pawn. Black can try to attack or support the pawn or castle. It doesn't matter. In both cases it will be a draw. So if black tries to protect, so it will be h4, h6, knight f3, rook protects, and knight develops, rook moves here, pawn attack, move, pawn block, the white pawns block the black pawns, and black has no attack on the white, so it will be a draw. You had a chance to see that all positions in the German Gambit, in the Italian opening, are very complicated. There are many nuances in those positions. So the main idea, so white, okay, in any case, black can play queen e7, d6, knight return to e6, so h6, and so white has main ideas with like pawn f4. So main idea of pawn f4, knight develop to c3 or develop to d2, depending on the situation, because knight on c3 can attack further d5 and supporting the pin of the knight and queen, and win material in case. So in case if not in this case, so bishop move here. So if queen moves here, so queen c3. So it can be also ideas with g5, some ideas with d5. Also possible queen c5 also is a good idea here, and so I don't recommend to remember all moves, only to remember the ideas. However, in this German Gambit, you need to remember at least one or two important lines for you. If you don't want to play it for white, then you don't need to remember anything. But if you want to play Italian opening for black, you at least need to know important variations which you can play. For instance, Queen E7 here. So if you remember just one situation with variation of Queen E7, you will be able to play German Gambit for black and win many games. We discussed with two videos. I think I managed to discuss most important variations in the German Gambit. And if you want more detailed analysis, deeper, like more steps, explaining each move, so you probably need to use lead chess or chess.com, which provide deeper analysis of each variation. Thank you very much.